So let's talk about mommy bloggers. I have had a lot of thoughts about this lately, and I wanted to touch on what is so repulsive about mommy bloggers and mommy influencers. And the reason this came up is I recently went to go get my taxes done because I had a little bit more to write off, and I had to explain to my tax guy what it is that I do, and my husband told him I am a social media influencer, and I cringed. Like, just the word for some reason made me cringe, and I was like, oh, I hate that word. And yes, I would much prefer to be called a social media inspirer, but if you've ever tried to say the word inspirer out loud, it doesn't roll off the tongue. So for lack of a better word, I am a social media influencer, which got me thinking that I wanted to dive deeper into what is so repulsive and icky about the word influencer. So for myself, I was like, okay, what is it that I influence, or that my goal is to influence on social media and Instagram? And for me, I influence people every day in how they view their hearing health. I influence the way people all over the world view kids with hearing loss and cochlear implants and American Sign Language. That is not icky. And I influence the way parents with these new diagnoses of hearing loss with their kiddos view the journey, and I influence their outlook to be a little bit more positive. So that is not icky either. So in terms of influencer there, I'm gonna move that into the not icky category, and I'm gonna start to feel a little bit more proud about what it is that I do for a living, because it is what I do for a living right now. So the second part, I was like, okay, well maybe it's the brand work or the ads that go along with social media that like are icky and repulsive to people. So I started to think about my own self with ads and brand work, and I only work with brands that I love and that I truly use. So that's not icky. I think that it really does ruin it for everybody else when there's people who are saying that they use products that they don't actually use. Like, I get it, like that turns me off as well, and it does kind of ruin it for the rest of us. But for me in general, like I can rest at night knowing that when I share something with you guys, it's something that I love and that I really want you to know about. And that is not icky. And for an example, diaper wise, I only use Pampers. Always have. Even when I was in the NICU, we only used Pampers in the NICU that I worked in. And whenever I had my first baby, long before I dove into social media, like motherhood blogging, I used Pampers. We never used anything else. And I had several diaper companies reach out to me over the past year and offer me a lot of money to share their diapers and share their brand, and I couldn't do it. And if you are a stay-at-home mom with 2 little kids and this is your job, it is really, really hard to turn down thousands of dollars. Like, I could have paid the mortgage for month over month for a little bit, but I just couldn't do it because I didn't use those diapers. It would have been really weird and uncomfortable, and I just would have felt bad if I shared that. So I had to say no. And I have to say no to opportunities like that all the time. So in that category, and I know a lot of other mommy influencers do the same thing. So in that category, I'm gonna say not icky, and I'm gonna feel better about the brand work that I do. And then the most important thing with the brands that I work with, when they're choosing to work with me and my family, they are maybe looking past the fact that maybe my engagement and my numbers aren't as pretty as somebody else they could have chosen to work with. But when they work with me and my family, they are choosing to represent something a little bit greater, and they're willing to show that they're a brand that cares about inclusion, and they're a brand that cares about kiddos with hearing loss, and showing that they are equally as beautiful and important and as accepted as any other kiddo and family that they chose to work with. So when you see me support a brand and that brand support me, or me post anything about that, you should like that and support that, because you're supporting a brand who cares about inclusion and who cares about something a little bit more than just getting their product out there. They are working with me because they are making a stand to say, we love what you stand for, even if you don't have the most likes in the world, but we love you, we love your family, we love Charlie, and we want to be a part of that ride. So in that regard, again, I'm moving that to the not icky category, and going to choose to be proud and really happy about the brand work that I'm doing. So I guess all this to say, number one, I guess to say that I don't think that what I do is icky. But before I was a mommy blogger and an influencer, I was a NICU nurse for almost 10 years. I was in the Navy, active duty officer as a nurse as well. And you know, I felt really proud of that job. And I feel like what I do now, people make me feel like I shouldn't be proud of it, or I should cringe when I have to talk about it. And I'm choosing to be proud of what I do and to share more about it. And if you're a mommy blogger or mommy influencer out there, I just want to say that I think it's awesome what you're doing. I think that it's great that you are able to stay home with your kids and have a really creative outlet and opportunity to bring money into your home and contribute. And we live in really pretty interesting times, so this is something that we can do. So I just wanna, if I had a glass, I'd raise a glass to you right now and say, just keep your chin up and be proud of what you do. And I think that the stigma isn't necessary as long as you are, you know, pursuing your passion with it with purpose. I think that's great. And I think that what I do is, you know, important in how my family life is and my home life is and how my emotional well-being is. So I think it's great. And so mommy bloggers, you are not icky. Motherhood influencers, you are not icky. I just think you're a little bit misunderstood, and I hope we can work together to help people understand and appreciate what you do a little bit more. So that is all my thoughts were for today, and that's all I have to say.